Joining us now to discuss all of this and more is Jesse Banal, Trump attorney and constitutional legal expert. Also with us is Thane Rosenbaum, distinguished legal scholar and professor at Touro College. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us this evening. Thane, I'll start off with you first. In a letter to the House Judiciary Committee Chair, Jim Jordan, Weiss maintained that he had ultimate authority over the Hunter Biden investigation. But meantime, the whistleblower says that's simply not true. Do you think Weiss is scared, or what's really going on? Why not simply have the courage to just say what's really going on?
Well, Lydia, you know, it's important to just go to the basic core understanding of the way our government works. The Justice Department is in the executive branch. That means that if Joe Biden is not reelected, Merrick Garland doesn't get to keep his job. All right. So these are basic. It doesn't mean that the Justice Department doesn't maintain institutional independence. It just means that that is a reality. The attorney generals also define the mission of the Justice Department and what kinds of cases to prioritize. They clearly have not prioritized anything related to Hunter Biden or President Biden. And as for Weiss, your point is a good point. Look, as your reporting already stated, he wanted the rank of a special counsel. And with the rank of a special counsel, he would have had complete autonomy. If he's not given the rank of a special counsel, he's going to be very sensitive to the office politics within the Justice Department. And Lydia and Joe, you know what the office politics is like in the Justice Department. If and when possible, protect the Bidens. Mm-hmm. So, it may be that, he wanted more, but he's right now can't be really honest about, look, I work for these guys. I, too, could lose my job here. And I'm just, I'm laying low. I'll do what they tell me to do. I wanted to have the autonomy. They didn't give it to me. Mm-hmm. And so here we are.
Absolutely. Well, Jesse, to that point, talking about office politics, last week the House Ways and Means Committee released what they said was a WhatsApp message from Hunter Biden to a member of the Chinese Communist Party, Henry Zhao, where he seemed to brag about being with his father, talking about his foreign business dealings. I mean, the staggering quote, if you can actually see it here, "I'm sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment has not been fulfilled." I mean, the word is we, as in my father and I, sitting at the right hand of the father, effectively leveraging his father's position to enrich the family, all while the father, again, continues to maintain he had nothing to do with it. What is your take on this?
Well, my take on it is this is a situation where Congress already has more than enough information to start impeachment proceedings. Luckily, there have been impeachment resolutions that have been given to committees, and they should start investigating. And this should be the first of many issues that should be investigated, showing that, at this point, President Biden should be impeached. But realistically, the Senate is in Democratic hands. That's going to be difficult to get justice. So we need a special prosecutor in this case. There should have been a special prosecutor appointed in this case from day one. But now what you have is Merrick Garland going out there, and he's parroting the same things that you showed your viewers earlier, with saying that President Trump is attacking democracy. Now he's actually saying anyone who questions Merrick Garland's Department of Justice is attacking democracy. And it's this language that they're using on and on right now, trying to quiet any dissent that's out there. It's actually extremely dangerous for our constitutional rights.
Absolutely. It sounds more like a dictatorship rather than a democracy. Thane, let's toss it over to you. I got about a minute for you. There's a report from The Independent whose sources claim that prosecutors are prepared to hit Trump and his allies with new charges. Quote from the article, "The department has made preparations to bring what is known as a superseding indictment, a second set of charges against an already indicted defendant, that it could include more serious crimes, an additional 30 to 45. I mean, this is insane. I spoke to Dick Morris over the weekend. He seems to think that Trump will get hit with charges related to January 6th. Thane, what do you think?
All bets are off when it comes to Trump. That's for sure. I used to think that they would just bring one case because it would be ridiculous to bring more than one case. It would just look like weaponized Justice Department. But I don't think that anymore. But let me just briefly say, remember, they're hitting Trump with the Espionage Act. And the Espionage Act has always been used for someone who's trying to injure the United States and benefit a foreign government. And there is no evidence of that. There's evidence of maybe gross negligence or mishandling of documents. Meanwhile, we do see evidence when we're talking about foreign governments. It only seems to tie itself to the Bidens. So it just seems so bizarre that we keep using the word Espionage Act when there's no connection between Trump and any other government and any injury to the United States. And when it comes to what looks like really demonstrative evidence of foreign mishandling of foreign entities and influence peddling, there we don't really want to talk about espionage at all. We just say it's a probation for a gun violation and 2 misdemeanors on a tax fraud case.
Unbelievable.
Well, I think to that point, I mean, Jesse, when you look at all the smoke around Hunter Biden, right, we arguably can make the argument that the gun charge has very little to do with the American people, that the tax charge, as it's currently constructed, has very little to do with the American people. But everything that does pertain to the American people, the White House logs about the meetings, the actual fact that we know for a fact that those meetings were requested by foreign nations, the fact that we know in the emails they said specifically they needed FaceTime with JRB, which we know most likely stands for Joseph Robinette Biden. So when you have all this evidence from the 10% from the big guy, whistleblower after whistleblower, how is it that the people that kept this nation hostage for 4 years from one impeachment to the next, talking about the integrity of our institutions, do not care?
Yeah, it's because of their hypocrisy. And they will use every opportunity they can in order to try to cover up their hypocrisy. And so what they do is they appoint somebody like Jack Smith, somebody who's a zealot, to go after Donald Trump, somebody that Merrick Garland appointed him, knowing that the man would not let up and he would use everything that he could to take Donald Trump off the political stage. Meanwhile, they take and they put people that are far more cautious and don't have that sort of autonomy to investigate Hunter Biden. And then essentially they take and let him off with the equivalent of a traffic ticket and just completely blow over all the crimes against America that are alleged against him.
It's astounding. Thank you so much, Jesse Banal and Thane Rosenbaum, for being with us this evening.